Mrs. Greta,
Yes.
we're gonna do a real quick
Agreement. Verbal.
Yeah,
Okay.
verbal agreement on
Yes.
camera.
I know.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
If she makes it, I get 15% of everything she makes.
Okay, 15%?
Yeah, 15%.
Okay.
Well,
Go ahead.
We'll see.
Well, because they have to get two. Is that part? Well, how do we do it? Okay.
No, it's with my production company.
Okay,
Resident
okay,
Outfit.
and then you
so
hand it.
I
Oh,
get
so-
and so
okay.
I'll divide equally among whoever I think.
Okay.
For example, this crew, we've got the establishing shot cameraman. We've got the documentary guy, just in case this turns into a movie, documentary, or cooking show.
Yeah.
And but Jared Maribon gets 15% of everything. Yeah.
All right.
That's it. Yeah. So, we got some blanched spinach coming up over here.
It's so funny because my daughter.
Is that an olive oil?
No. Sesame oil is what I would do majority of my cooking with. I don't basically use too much olive oil. It's always sesame oil. You'll notice when I cook a lot, I don't really use oil so much, but when I do it is sesame oil. Even when we do tempura, you can cut, if you're good at it, you can cut it and just use very little oil, and then you use water. Yeah, but you have to be careful because you can burn yourself very badly if you're not used to it. But no, so.
I like the Asian fusion. We're thinking of ideas of whether we call it Asian fusion cuisine or just home style cuisine. You can have something exotic.
No, it's not Asian. Aloha fusion.
Aloha fusion.
Aloha fusion, not Asian, because it's actually. You see, Aloha.
Now she's a producer. She's got no idea.
Asian is because Aloha opens up to even American everything. That's Hawaiian. Hawaiian food style. Food from there is just everything because everybody's from everywhere, and it's all their foods all come together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just like my friends. They do.
Well, tell everybody your background, your historical background, like where you came from.
Well, actually, okay, my mother's from Osaka, Japan. She was a Japanese World War II war bride, and of course I'm after the war. So I'm not as old as that, but I do have siblings that are much older. I'm actually one of 5, the baby. So I don't have much to say in my family. I'm basically the listener. But anyway, also too, my father was an American soldier that went over there, and he used to give his rations to my mother and to her family. So, and that's how they survived and lived. And of course, years later, they weren't allowed to marry. But then when they were having children, I had a brother that was made from the 2 of them. And he's like my father. And so because of that, years later, when they left them there, America would not accept them to this country. They left them in Japan, but of course Japan didn't want them. So eventually they made an agreement where they could marry, they could bring back the war brides and the children. So that's how my mother came to America, and he was an army soldier. So when they all came on the boat, when they came and landed at Ellis Island, which my mother thought was so cool because she always heard about people coming to Ellis Island, and so she was so amazed because she wanted to see the Statue of Liberty, that Statue of Liberty, and so she just couldn't believe it coming here and seeing New York and stuff. So they all were brought here, and then from that point, depending on what rank, what positions, what military
background
and stuff, and what they were in, Army, Air Force, whatever. So they were sent different places. So that's how actually we started out here, and so then and then we been living here so ever since. So anyway, my mother's passed on though, but anyway.
She taught you like go home, cook,
well, my mother actually was a little. My mother didn't do much of that. My mother was a kind of a princess. So, but she later learned in life as a hobby. I've always, as a little child, enjoyed cooking cooking and sewing my dolls, you know, clothes, and then trying to cook. And we had girls' day every weekend. We would go out. My two sisters and my mother would go out shopping, go out to eat, and then I would come home and want to try to, you know, figure out how to cook and make what we would be eating. So my mother was very generous, where she would let me grocery shop and buy stuff, and then many mistakes I made. To figure out how things were made. And then I also made it to my taste and to my liking. Living in Hawaii, the benefit of that is you have all kinds of foods there and all kinds of different flavors and stuff. So you can really experiment and, you know, create your own as well. So,
Where did you decide the idea for fusion?
Well, because it's a whole fusion of my mother. My father's mother actually had a restaurant. That's how they were brought up. So I never met her, but I've got that in my blood, you know. And so, so I've got that American, I guess, Southern, you know, food. So I can't really say Southern black food, because I have friends that are Southern Americans, and they cook the same stuff. They cook even more and better. So
what's your preference? What is your preference as far as like your own palate?
My
like,
own palate is more Asian, But you know, don't get me wrong. I like a nice piece of meat, you know, but I do like a lot of the Asian food, because I like a lot of the vegetables, you know. So that's why I tend to go towards that, and I'm used to that too. I grew up on that, so my palate is used to that. You know, that's where my stomach is used to it too. So and I'm not used to. I'm not one to use a lot of oil. I like a lot of home cooking from the kitchen, fresh cooking. So I shop all the time. And so a lot of other foods, American foods, not all, but a lot of them, you don't have as fresh, and you do use oil more, and I really don't use as much oil. I do use sesame oil, you're going to see, but sesame oil is more of a seasoned oil, and as you taste my food, you'll see what I mean. So, but I cook beans. I have a wonderful friend from Peru, and she taught me how to make beans, and I made my version of Peruvian beans, you know, and I actually like to use it. She uses fish and tripe, but I learned how to make it with meat, like with ham, and I think it's really good.
What I like, what's great about your cooking is the fact that you incorporate all sorts of different exotic tastes and flavors in like a, you know, a more like a healthy style, and I like how you brought up the fact that, you know, it depends on your stomach system, your digestive system, and what's good for you, and, you know, for your body, and, you know, clean living, and having everybody to partake in like all sorts of different varieties of dishes, and that's where the fusion comes in, and that's I think is the best way to, you know, market this show, you know, or movie or whatever we're doing right now, documentary on everything that you're trying to accomplish, and so I'd love to see every aspect of everything that you're gonna give us. I want the ham.
Okay, I know. I got that, especially in honor of you. I sure do, and that's so easy and it's fun.
I think the crew wants some ham too.
Okay. Oh, great. So you're all ham eaters. Oh, wonderful. Because I'm like, what am I gonna do with all this ham? Because I'm not a ham eater at all. I'm not a ham eater.
Hell, I'll take the ham bone and then just like make some pea soup. I don't know.
Yeah, because it makes wonderful soup. It does. And I've got a wonderful marinate. Exactly. Well, I made a wonderful bean soup, and because my husband likes beans, and like I said, I love it too. Okay, well, we're gonna do the ham because the ham takes the longest.
Pizza.
That's horrible.
And
hey, that's not my cooking.
I'm not.
Who knows, man? This will go to Sundance for like a documentary or a movie, and a movie within a movie, you know, that sort of thing. These are the people who... Dude, we did this for a reason. Why are you eating microwave pizza? That's just...
Exactly.
That's disrespectful, my friend. She's got ham going. She's got everything going. We got a cooking show going, man.
Exactly. Jiminy crickets, Ryan. What are you doing, son?
Alright. He's hungry, man. He's hungry. Let's see. don't forget the background story too.
Well, we already got that, didn't we?
I have to.
We're gonna go. We're
You're
gonna
gonna
go.
do
We're starting
everything?
with the ham. I'm just.
Well, we're gonna go straight to
just-
the
yeah,
story
go through
and
this,
introduce yourself
introduce
and your
myself.
dishes and.
And then I'll just implement stories as we do.
Okay,
Right?
ready? Roll camera. And action.
Hi, my name is Linda Segreto, and welcome to my premiere of Aloha Cuisine, fusion cuisine actually. And today we're starting out with honey baked ham. When it comes to honey baked ham, actually, the ham is already cooked, so it's smoked. So any ham actually that you want, it doesn't matter what brand. A lot of times I love Swift and Gwaltney. I just seem to, for some reason, I gravitate to Swift or Gwaltney. But anyway, this is our basic hams, Swift ham, and it's smoked like I said, like they all are. And I like to do my own honey, honey glaze. Honey glaze, I basically use what I have in the house. What I always have is pineapples, honey, brown sugar. Oranges are wonderful, and lemons. I do have a lemon today, but I'm out of oranges, so we're deleting the oranges. But if you do have oranges, it's wonderful to take one orange. You can cut it in half, squeeze the juice all on it, and then I slice up pieces of what I've squeezed, the rind with the meat, that you've squeezed from, and just drop it into the pan so that when you make the flavoring with the juice, it'll help season as well. Same thing we do with the lemon. Lemons, whenever you pick out your lemon, of course, you want something smooth. And then when you get it home, it's firm, so you have to roll it. Just like the oranges, we roll it to get the juices. It's not tight. The juice is all gushing through. So when you slice it, it just comes right out easy. And when I use my lemons, lemon is very tart, it's very strong and pungent. So you really just, half is what I use. It's up to your taste, though, but half is usually good enough for hams of this size, like about 3 to 4 pounds. Half is perfect. And pineapples is up to your own discretion. You can have slices, you can have crushed already, you can have chunks. Today I have chunks in my pantry, so that's what I'm using. I'm one that, what I do use basically, and that's part of the fusion, the title, is I use what I have in my pantry, and what I don't have, a lot of times I just use something else. So no problems. I have cherries today, maraschino cherries, so that works great. So we're going to just get started on this. Honey glazed ham, you want to cook slowly. You can cook it on 325 to 350. I basically cook mine as 350 and I keep it open. 3.5 hours for like 3 to 4 pounds is plenty of time to glaze it. You can caramelize it if you want. If you do want to caramelize, it's going to take at least an hour to 2 hours more. I would then also reduce the heat to 325 or 300. But usually 3.5 hours is very glazed, it's very caramelized, not too hard, but just the right kind of, texture that my family like it. So that's what we're going to be doing. So brown sugar. I'm very generous with my brown sugar. Brown sugar is, it's not as sweet as white sugar, but it's very tasty. It gives a lot of flavor because it has flavors in it. So that has been cleaned out. So before we do this, what I'm going to do is ask you to get a knife, and you're going to make crisscross cut slices. And the reason why I do that because it takes the juices of the lemons, the pineapples, and the oranges. Okay?
Yeah, we don't have to go into like you really don't have to.
Well,
go
I just
into,
tell what they have to have, the necessities.
Just the necessities. You can just say like take 1 lemon.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have to go into.
Okay, like, how much you use and everything.
Or like
okay.
No, I like the background story, but
you don't need a story for every little.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to be like, oh,
no, he's right.
Or
yeah.
roll this way or just.
Well, the reason why though, okay. All right, good. Because a lot of people they don't realize to roll it and stuff. And I'm like,
right. But when you do that,
when I'm doing it, they're gonna pick it up. They're gonna exactly.
So you don't have to really.
Exactly. Okay. Wonderful. Okay.
All right,
starting all over again. Hi, welcome to my premiere of Aloha Fusion Cuisine. My name is Linda Segreto, and today we're going to be cooking honey baked ham. My honey baked ham is about 3 to 4 pounds, 3.5, 4 pounds. And what I'm going to be using today is brown sugar, pineapples, honey. I have maraschino cherries, lemon. I like oranges, but I don't have orange today. Basically, whatever I have in my pantry, I just take that and I use it. Sometimes I delete, you know, but these are what we're using today. So, rolling my lemon so that it's nice and juicy and easy to get the juice out. Counter. I don't worry about the seeds. If the seeds get on it, it's okay. There's no problem. Just squeeze it. And then we're going to slice, make slits, crisscross, to capture the juice and flavor more. Maybe about an inch apart. That's what really makes it so delicious. I'm not a big ham fan, but honey ham, I can have my share. Now, I'll just put a little bit of pineapples on. Slices are nice. You can attach them crushed too. But as it continues cooking, a lot of it will fall off, but it will pick up the flavor. So don't worry about that. When I did my first honey ham, actually I had Play-Doh as a little girl. And for my Barbies, I made a honey ham. And I remember using all kinds of Play-Dohs, shaping and creating a honey ham. And I used to always think, I want to cook this when I get older. I want to cook these things. I used to make all kinds of roast chickens and turkeys and all. And as I got older, we used to go out for Girls' Day on the weekend. And we would go eat, we would do our shopping and go eating, and I would go home and I would try to make these things. And if I didn't have the ingredients, I would ask my mother, and she would let me go shopping and pick up ingredients that I thought I needed. Made lots of mistakes, lots of learning lessons, but as I continued, I learned how to make the dishes that I was enjoying. And basically, that's how I started my cooking as a child. My mother didn't do very much cooking at that point. And my oldest sister, I'm the youngest of 5, my oldest sister didn't do very much. So I used to just have fun cooking and baking. And that's what I've always continued doing. And as I've gotten older, married, and 3 children, I just enjoy cooking. Where when my kids were growing up, I started cooking and having people over, eating my food all the time. People used to start asking me have I ever thought of catering? And I never did, but what they used to do is give me orders. And I used to, make food for them. They would give me, of course, pay me for it. So I used to run a little business in the house, cooking and catering for people without meaning to. So, at this point, I put pineapples in, put the juice in. The best part, the honey. You just ooze it out and just put as much as you want. Actually, I just kind of take the lid off because it's too slow for me. And I just dribble it. You just drizzle it. Just drizzle the honey. It really doesn't matter which you do first. You can do the honey first and then pack it, but it's so sticky and gooey. So I always save the honey for last. It's not as gooey, and then it basically stays on. But as you see, it will ooze the sugar and pineapples off some, but that's okay. Because as it cooks, you can put some of it back on. And usually I put a little bit more brown sugar on too. I add on. My oven is set for 350. So I'm going to cook this for 3.5 hours. And it will be nice and glazed enough for us.
How many hours?
3.5 hours. Should be enough glazed, caramelized and glazed for us. If you really want it very, very caramelized, you need to leave it in on like 325 instead of 350 for at least an hour to 2 hours more. And it'll come out very, very caramelized. But We don't like it that much. We do not like it that caramelized. We still like it very tender, very soft. So.
And on top of that, the salty ham.
Yes.
Yeah, if you have salty ham on.
Salty ham. Actually, if you ever do make the mistake of buying salty ham, that is very salty. I would soak that overnight, 24 hours, in water, because it will help drain the salt. And then honey ham, you can do the same way, but it will be a little bit different because of the saltiness. But I'm sure it'll be just as good. But that I would definitely do slow cooking on 325, even 300 if you want, but definitely at least 325, and do the same thing. Nothing different. And there we go. We're all ready for cooking. I never put the water in till I get it to the oven because it's too heavy. So what I do is I put it in the oven first, and then I bring the water too. You want to make sure it's not too high up in your oven. I have gas, so depending on what you have. Gas will cook faster, and I really prefer gas for cooking. Gas cook much better. Baking, cooking, it's wonderful. But if you have electric, it's okay. It cooks just as well too. But gas, it really does cooks well. The food has a totally different taste. You make sure that you have the rack where you have it a little below, the rack below the middle, because you don't want to burn it and cook it too fast, because you're going to leave it open. You leave the ham open, and I had the light, but when I clicked it on, it blew out, so I'm sorry.
Is there a difference between gas and electric?
Yes,
that,
it is.
That makes,
Electric will take longer, and the flavor's a little bit off because of that, but it takes a little longer. But it's okay. You have to just get used to your oven. The main thing is, the oven is balanced. The reason why sometimes you will have what oven's on is balanced. All ovens going to be a little bit off. Or one side will cook faster and bake faster. And you just have to learn your ovens. But when it comes to meat, ham, it doesn't matter. It's only basically for baking. So,
what's your preference?
I prefer gas. Make sure that you have at least, I would have about 2 inches of water. Okay? The pineapples that I have in this bowl, I'm going to just fill water and I'm going to dump it in. I'm going to use all of it. And this is basically 1 can, 16 ounce. Oops. Oh, there's my oven. Oh, it smells good already, and it's not even
I can smell it from here. It smells really good.
Oh, and see, as you see, the water is very important. If you do not have enough water, it will be so dry, and the glaze will not come out the right way. So make sure you have, and then I leave it open and I put it in. And it's on 350. You can do the time setter, or I don't watch the clock, but because I'm so used to cooking where I can judge the time myself. So, but if you're not used to it, do set your clock.
And cut. There we go. We can do the next segment now with the chicken. Getting everybody's perspective on how they prepare, personally their cuisine, their dish.
I'm
I think
spray it with this, and then I'll wipe it down with the dish real quick. Do you like that? Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what I did? Gosh.
What?
Jared?
Yeah.
Can you get a few little plates right there?
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. And
How's
then
the
you guys,
spinach?
you can eat. I'm sorry.
You like spinach,
You know,
right?
it's a real good energy spinach.
Do you think it turned out good? Yeah.
I think so.
Is that okay?
Look at this. And she's got
Now, do I have to
spinach,
rinse it and do it again? Wash off the hand?
Yeah. Well, if it makes it, we'll have people cleaning for you.
We're not
And
filming
the
this, right? And it's not on. So I can tell you a story that we can't air because my sister will chop my head up. She's like my mother.
Well, then
So
you
let
have to
me know.
cut. You got to tell
Okay.
Chris to cut.
When you're ready, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you about it. This is with ginger. Get a knife. I'm so sorry.
It's still rolling, right?
Okay. So I have chicken parts. in the sink. I like to keep it in the sink because of the contamination. I don't want to have to worry about that because after I finish with the meat, putting it in the pot that I'm going to be cooking in, I can then just bag up everything.
Now these are chicken parts?
These are chicken parts. And the chicken parts is up to your taste. White parts.
So split chicken breast.
Split chicken breast. What I have here, these are chicken breasts. They're so huge. So what I will be doing is I will be cutting them. So make sure you have a knife that cuts bones or scissors that cut bones. This is a very good one because it cuts very well. Hopefully my sink. So, and I do not like skin. So I basically take off my skin. Or you can buy it skinless. The Asian markets sell skinless chicken, boneless chickens as well. Such a cheap price. So, but this I bought at another store because I wasn't over that side, so I bought these. But I got a good deal on this. I love shopping at Walmart too, and Walmart has really good deals.
Okay, so when you're done with the chicken, I'll pick up from that.
So,
Because right now you're just kind of putting in
prepping.
stuff.
So, you know, thighs are very good. Chicken legs, whatever parts you want. It's up to you.
What do we have for vegetables?
Vegetables, I'm going to be using daikon. Daikon is radish, oriental radish, you know. So that is very good. Some of the fat, what I do is I cut it off because I do not like it as well. Thighs are delicious, and these are wonderfully big thighs, but they have a lot of fat still. Even though they were skinless, there's some fat left on it. It's okay to keep some on, though, for flavor, so that's not a problem. This is not a hard dish to make. Very easy, very quick, too. The hardest part is just, you know, preparing the chicken, cleaning it, and then cutting up whatever you want to put in it. Onions, you would definitely be using green onions. Regular yellow, white onions, you're going to be using. And soy sauce. And brown sugar, substitute sugar, honey, whatever sweetener you want to.
What's your preference for cooking it?
You know,
steam it or?
What I do is I use brown sugar and white sugar. Basically what I have. And
So, I mean, do you
what I al-
do you like to fry it? I mean,
no, well, when I cook it, you know, it depends what I'm making. I don't really, I do it in different ways. It just depends. Different ways. I like it all ways. I'm not really such a fried chicken person. I will stir fry it in little bites, little pieces.
the wok, do you use
But,
the wok?
yes. Well, you know what? The pan that I'm going to be cooking my vegetables in, it works just like a wok. I have one in the cabinet, but it works the same way. So I have a tendency, I prefer that one the way it cooks and the way it handles. So I use that one. So, but I'm just taking skin off a little bit more, pulling it off my hands, and just taking some more of the fat off because I'm not really. I also, sometimes what I will do is when I boil it, what you're going to do is you're going to put lots of garlic. I love my garlic. Put garlic in with the water and boil it.
Powder, or do you,
I use fresh garlic, always fresh garlic. I'm going to apply the garlic right now. As soon as I get it on the stove with the water.
Is that like a rub on the chicken?
It's going to help season it and season the chicken. And you know, when you use it, it also helps it to cook faster a little bit. Chicken cooks very quickly anyway. And then I'm going to get it to the texture, you know, just get it slightly cooked. And sometimes when it has a lot of fat on it, I will dump the water and make fresh water. And then I will use that water to make my show you chicken. Very quickly. This is a wonderful job.
What is this again?
This is chicken parts that I've sliced up. The stove is medium high.
Chicken filled with water.
Chicken filled with water. I put a couple of garlic, couple of teaspoons, heapings in to flavor it. And I'm going to let this boil. It's going to boil a little bit, start cooking. It's not really going to roll boil, but it's just going to where you see it's cooking. And then once it's cooked, this water I'm not going to dump because it's going to be pretty, not too greasy because I de-skinned it so much. And defat it, the fat is off a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this water. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to let it cook partially. When it starts looking a little white and you can see that it's cooking and the water is very hot, steam's coming up, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to add onions, scallions, green onions, and white or yellow onions, whichever your preference is. Some people like peppers. You want peppers? Put them in. And I'm going to put that in, and then I'm going to add soy sauce, and I'm going to start adding my sugar, my sweetener. Ginger also, too, I'm going to add. Ginger, when it comes to ginger, make sure, you can make a wonderful tea with this, too. Very easy. Make sure that you peel it because, the dirt. So what I'm going to do is, how much ginger, everything basically is up to your taste.
Do you have a preference as far as green peppers, yellow peppers, red peppers?
I like them all. You know what? Whatever is the cheapest at that time and what I have the money for, I buy it. Also, too, sometimes certain dishes I want color, depending on the color. I prefer, actually, I prefer the red. I love the red, and I think actually red are very more healthy of all the peppers. I think red is possibly, I don't know, don't quote me on that, but I love the red. And I love the green too. The red isn't as pungent, the flavor is more stronger in the green. So when I do use that, because there's a lot of dishes that I use, and one day we'll be making some noodles too. I love the smell of ginger too. What I do is with the skin, this is wonderful for your garbage disposal. It freshens it up. Of course, I hope you know, whenever you want to sharpen the blades, you use your ice. The old ice, you throw out your ice. You throw out your ice from your ice maker in, and then let it grind up in the garbage disposal. It sharpens the blade. But this is a nice freshener, like lemon. You put your lemon in it. It grinds it up. It's a great freshener as well as this.
Only good cooks will tell you how to freshen up your garbage disposal.
Also, too, like you want to change the aroma in your house, I have all kinds of wonderful things around here, too, candles and stuff and incense. But we don't burn it too much because, it bothers, the chest sometimes, and we've got little ones here. I'll burn some, I'll boil ginger in the water and just let the aroma,
Oh, smell-o-vision.
Yeah, a lot of people will do cinnamon and vanilla. That's nice, too, but I like the fresh smell of ginger. Ginger's very fresh. But what I do make is I can make I've learned, I didn't know before, but I've learned how to make ginger chicken soup, and that's a wonderful soup, and we'll do that one day too. Very easy, very yummy. And whenever I make my soups, basically, it's leftover things. Leftovers, what I have left over in the refrigerator, when I have meat, fish, leftover, I make soup. And I always have the rice noodles that you'll be seeing that I'm going to use today too. The rice noodles. We're going to be using in this shoyu chicken. I always have this on hand. These are the cheapest noodles, the healthiest noodles, because they're rice and vegetable noodles. So that's really wonderful. And they're very good for your health. So I'll be using this. And you can always, use that with it. So a lot of things that you're going to be seeing me cooking with are really the flavors, the seasons. I really love a lot of flavor. I'm into flavor. I'm into taste. Otherwise, I do not like it. But I don't want it, too heavy. And also, too, I do not like food that's very heavy for the body. So you're going to notice that I'm going to use a lot of the basic ingredients as far as seasoning and vegetables, but it's the different ways you can use them as well as the noodles. So like chicken, there's so many different ways you can use it. Very easy. And it's not difficult. The meals that I make, it's not too long unless you're roasting something. It's not too long, but it's just the preparation, getting used to cutting up the things and having that on hand. But basically it's what's in your pantry, what's in your refrigerator, what you have. It's not that really expensive. It's very inexpensive. But it just takes time, of course. A little time to learn these things. And then you can just whip together very easily. We have rice. That's my potato, is rice. I love rice. I use jasmine white rice. And, I get it from the Asian stores. And rice in the rice cooker is the best way to cook. If you want to cook it on the stove, you can. It's the same way, but it uses a little bit more water.
You have a specific brand?
I love jasmine. I love, I don't remember the brand, but it's Elephant. It's the Elephant brand. Jasmine rice. And Do not buy broken rice. Some people make a mistake and buy broken rice. That is exactly what it is. It is the bottom of the barrel of rice, and it's all the broken chips. It's very cheap, very inexpensive. I love Chinese food, Chinese restaurants, but you ever notice sometimes when you go to their restaurants, when you eat their rice, it's a little crunchy, a little hard, a little dry, and then when you bring it home the next day, it's hard as a rock? That's broken rice.
It is.
Broken rice. You can't even stir fry it. You can't do anything. It's a waste of rice, you know. But anyway, that's what broken rice is. I love regular grain, long grain, jasmine rice, and I do use white rice. I know brown is healthier, and I do cook with brown rice. And you're going to see also too sometimes I'm going to be making dishes with brown and white rice combined, and sometimes just brown. A lot of times when I make my soup, if I do put in rice, it is the brown rice in the soups. But the jasmine rice, whenever you do it in the rice cooker, the only thing is you just make sure you clean it. You clean it, and then it just takes, you know, and then the amount of water. For each cup of rice, you use a cup, okay, of water to it. And then, like I have 3 cups here. So I use 3 cups of water. But you are always, at the end, you add in an extra half. And then it makes the perfect rice. This is the best. Daikon is a radish, Oriental Asian radish, but it's not bitter like the American little tiny red ball radish. I love my radish. You can eat this raw, you can eat it cooked, you can do many things with radish. You can grate it and use it on things on top as a topping on dishes, seafood and fish, when you have a wonderful fish dish and stuff. You can also make it into a nice vinaigrette salad. So there's different things you can do with it, and you can cook with it. I'm going to be using this in my shoyu chicken. You know, you can cut it any kind of way you want. Any kind of way you want. It's very, because it looks watery, but it's still very thick. So when you cut it, it's a little hard to cut. So you just want to work your knife through. And just work your knife through. And then just cut it. So I'm going to use dish. Onions, everything is all up to how much you want in it. Like I said, I'm really into vegetables and fruits, so I use as much as I can. My carrots, onions, garlic, and carrots, onions, garlic, daikon tofu. I will be using that all the time. Now, actually, you can start dropping in onions. You can start dropping in, you know, the daikon. Daikon takes a little while to cook, so that's why I want to get to the right texture where it absorbs the flavor. So I'm going to be dropping that in as well. Chicken, oh, the chicken smells so wonderful. The chicken smells so wonderful with the garlic.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Just garlic, I love the smell and flavor.
Do you have a preference though, like as far as when you put the daikon in, like do some people like it crunchy, or you can put the daikon in?
By the time it cooks, it's nice and soft because it's gonna just be in there with everything cooking. So it's gonna be all soft. Just like I'm gonna put carrots in there too. Carrots will be very soft too. Carrots cook a little longer too, depending on how thick they are, and how. So I have some. I think they're too big today. They're kind of small. So open. They're I have to buy these from Costco. They're already pre-cut and ready.
Those are baby carrots.
Baby carrots. So, and it's okay if you put it in before you put the seasoning. No big deal because the seasoning is all liquefied. You're gonna put soy sauce in. You're gonna be putting in your sugar. Doing this. My husband used to complain. He used to always say, "My gosh, you use so much garlic and onions." But now he loves it. When he goes elsewhere and he eats people's food, he can't enjoy it because how much garlic he's begun to enjoy because he realizes the flavor and the taste.
There are more carrots going in, huh?
Exactly. Oh yeah, definitely much more. I just want to get the onions in and stop picking up the smell. And then,
definitely smelling the aromatics from over here. It's just everything, the combination.
You have to be
just
adding
the
more water
basic
soon.
natural without seasoning.
Make sure you have a big enough pan too for everything that you're making, because you know, depending on what you want to put in it, it's going to take a lot of space. So, all right. So, put that over there.
Carrots in?
Yeah, I'm going to put carrots in, but I want to just put a little bit more onions.
Were onions already in, or do you add them?
No, I have to do the onions. When you have scallions, please make sure, I've washed these already, make sure when you wash them, some people do not know, inside the openings, sand and dirt. So you make sure you clean the inside with the water running in, and then let it sit for maybe about 20 seconds, and then drain it out, you know, and you'll be amazed at how much. And make sure you really clean in between, because the sand really gets in it. And then just what I do is I just lay it on a paper towel and let it drain. And then, you know, they're ready to cut.
Do you have a preference of onions, by the way?
I love the sweet onions, I know Costco sells the Peruvian sweet onions, so I love the sweet onions, any kind of sweet onions, because the yellow onions, I would use them, but I don't really, they're not my favorite. White onions, I love the sweet onions, because a lot of times I will cook them also stir fry where they're not cooked too all the way, and then they're not too bitter. The scallions, they both, even though they're onions, they have different flavoring. They really do. You know, I really don't know. If you ask me personally, I really don't know, because I never thought about it. I never asked. But personally, with my cooking, the scallions, green onions, we call them too, the flavor is not as pungent as the regular onions. The sweet onions are more closer to these, but they give a little bit more, they're onion flavor, but they give a little bit more exotic flavor to it as well, is what I like. And that's why I use them in all my Oriental cooking. And I do not make my own salsa. That's something I would like to try one day. But I buy a wonderful brand, Jack and Jill from Costco. I love it. And they have the mango and they have the plain. So, I'm gonna... There's nothing like Kiko Man soy sauce. I'm sorry. A lot of people will use something else. No, I can't. I'm sorry. Kiko Man for everything. I cannot use other brands. I've been using Kiko Man since, oh my gosh, for years. How do I know the flavor? You smell it. You smell it. And then, of course, afterwards, later, when you get everything together, you can taste it.
I think after this, you're going to be the spokeswoman for Kiko.
That would be fine. Sugar. You must put the ginger and you must do the sugar, because otherwise it's going to miss out totally. It's going to be not show you chicken correctly anyway. It'll be and this is so easy. Yeah, I'm grating the ginger. And this is so wonderful when you're stuffy and, you know, congested.
You have one of those like holidays, sort of like when it starts getting into autumn and you're having a cold.
This is so nice. This and curry, you know, this is so good. I love to make sure you chicken at this time. And usually everyone likes, if you smell this, it smells so wonderful. You can smell it. And I haven't even put the sugar in, the sweetener in. And it's wonderful how it's smelling already, you know. And when it's looking like this way, you know you've got the right texture going on in here with everything. The coloring looks a little bit like a light caramel, you know, kind of. It's really pretty. And look at that, you know. There's going to be a little bit of oil, of course, because it's chicken. But it's not too much. It's just right. So, have to put in the sugar. How much sugar? I'm going to use white sugar today. How much? Also, again, to your taste. Some people do not like very much sugar. I'm going to use white sugar. And how much? You can already smell the difference. Can you smell it? You can already smell the difference. See? You smell that? It's wonderful. It's almost done, too. Isn't that wonderful? It's almost done. It'll be done. This is a very quick, easy dish. A lot of times when I come home and I don't know what to make, I run in my refrigerator and see what I have here. And then even when the chicken sometimes it's frozen, I'll thaw it out, you know. How do you thaw it out? Microwave, which I really do not like to use because it pre-cooks it. No matter how you defrost it, it starts cooking it. I put it in the sink with water. Yeah. And I just put it in the sink with water.
Cold water, yeah.
You can use, well, lukewarm, you know, because cold won't help. So you want to have a little hot lukewarm. And it will be okay because it's so frozen. It's not going to damage the chicken. It's not going to make it poisonous or anything. And then I just soak it in a pan in the sink, and then about 20 minutes later I toss it in the pan and I put the vegetables, because by that time I've got all the vegetables, I have all the onions, I have everything all chopped up, and I toss it in and it's cooked. You know, so not too long.
I wish
And the
everybody
rice
who's
is-
watching this can smell exactly how awesome this is.
This is so, and it opens up the lungs and sinuses. It's so wonderful. And I do cook every day though. I love to cook and I enjoy cooking, and we prefer, you know, home cooking. So I have friends too, and they always want me to cook. So I cook. I cook, you know, breakfast and everything. And one day we'll be doing that too as well. Lots of wonderful breakfast foods. And, you know, I just enjoy it. I really do. I enjoy it. So, but, and it's so easy. And then you know what's going in your food, you know, so you do not have to get worried. I think I would use the scissors. They have string to tie it together because it has to dry. It's freeze dried, so it would dry. So they wrap it. This is a very messy noodles. The only thing bad is if you do not know what you're doing, you can have the noodles popped all over your floor. I will still have 1 or 2 pieces because it can't be helped. It's wrapped, roped up, very thin noodles, as you see, very thin, very thin. And so what I'm going to do is I just keep it in the container, and I just run some cold water on it, and about 5 minutes later, it's ready to use. You can make salads with it. You can eat it with what we're making today, which we're going to do. Show you chicken, we're going to be eating it with that. You can put it in the pan, and you're going to see me put some in the pan. Once it's done, I will drop a little bit in the dish that I present to eat. Like if we eat it out the pan, I will put it on the top where you can have the noodles there. And we'll have them on the side where if you want more noodles in your dish, you just pick the noodles up and put them in your plate. So they just sit here, they soak. You can already see how they're changing. They're vegetable rice noodles. They make them. Some are made from beans, the rice. And then some are made from rice. And this is what they are. They're already changing. They will get so soft, and they're coming apart. You have to cut them, so you have to make sure you use your kitchen scissors because they are so long. They will break, but basically they'll stay so long, so you need to cut them. I use these also when I make my egg rolls. I love them in my egg rolls. I use this, and I use my tofu. I do not use cabbage usually too often in mine because I'm not a real big cabbage fan. Kimchi I am, but not in my egg rolls. So what I'll do is I'll use these in my egg rolls. One day you'll see me, and I'll be using my tofu and of course my carrots and garlic season. And these are just so easy. They're a nice filler, and they're not unhealthy for you. They're very good for you. My husband has diabetes and some health issues going on, so you know it really helps him a lot because he loves noodles, and those are his noodles. You can make spaghetti sauce and use those. You can already see now it's starting to bubble.
Are those the vegetable
Mm-hmm.
noodles?
Yep, those are the vegetable noodles. In a moment, we're going to check on the ham too, so I can look at that. Chicken breast cooks the longest, even though it's cut in half. Thighs, dark meat cooks very quickly. Chicken breast is thicker. Okay? Whenever you cook chicken, whenever you cook meat, when you take it out the refrigerator, it's going to be very cold, so it's constricted, it's tight. So you want to leave it out at least 20 minutes so it can relax. Always your meat, because the more you let it relax, then when you cook it, the more tender it will be. When it's all tight, if you just put it right into your stove or your oven, it's not as tender. So I always let it relax about 20 minutes, and then I do what I'm going to do with it. And this actually is one complete dish. This is a whole complete dish. That's why I do my vegetables, because I really love one complete dish, and it's all done. And then, you know, you don't eat as much meat, because I don't like to eat as much meat, and you eat a lot of vegetables as well. You have the rice, you have the noodles. My gosh, what more can you want, right?
Exactly. How many does it feed? Feeds the whole
Oh
family?
my gosh, and you know what? The next day, it's even better. You know, like how you have soups and stews the next day, it's even better.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
somehow it just tastes better.
wonderful.
Yeah. it
Oh my
tastes
gosh,
good.
it's just the flavor, yeah, it just settles even better. So, carrots do not take very long because they're very small. They're baby carrots. And I slice them, you know, in half. A lot of times people do not use ginger a lot cooking. So you know what you do? If you're not going to use it and you don't want it to go bad, wrap it in plastic. Saran wrap it, and then freeze it. And then when you do need it, take it out 1 minute. 1 minute it sits on the counter, and after the 1 minute when it sits on the counter, slice it how much you want. Slice how much you want.
What I like about the fact the amount of ginger that you put in there, it's not like overpowering because I like it like just you know, everybody has their own specific taste.
Exactly.
And so like the amount of ginger that's in there, I can smell it, but at the same time like it works well with the rest of the ingredients that are in there, that it doesn't overpower.
Exactly.
Because some people just don't really like, you know, a whole lot of ginger.
Exactly.
It's personal preference.
And you know, when you grate it, the flavor come out more.
Yeah.
You know, it'll go through everything.
So yeah, the flavor comes out, but the
Exactly.
smell of it just doesn't.
Exactly. So, whereas when you cut it up in chunks, it doesn't come out as much. So when you bite it, you'll taste the flavor more in your mouth. You know. So.
Let's do a segment on Ryan talking about his mom's cooking. So now he's walking away. Where's he going?
Right.
It's good.
Tastes good.
It doesn't sound convincing, man. You gotta say, I love my mom's cooking.
Well, he's not a little boy anymore. When he was little, Ryan is so sweet. This is part of the reason why I enjoy cooking too. Ryan my daughter has the same thing for a 2-year-old son. But Ryan would sit at the table and he would wait for me and watch me cook. He loved watching me cook. And he would sit for hours, no matter how long they took. And then he would sit there and then he would just enjoy eating. It was so much fun cooking for him because he was so adorable. This little boy, my gosh. And if you look at the pictures of him, you'll see, yes, he did enjoy his food as a little one.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes.
He doesn't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah, he's embarrassed.
I tell you what,
He's
he
turning
was
red.
the cutest. He was the cutest little kid. He was like.
How's the house black man turned red?
Then we'll go outside.
Well, I'm gonna have to have. You know, I always need tasters because even though I do my own cooking, I always have to have someone else taste my food to tell me.
That's all.
Hold on, let me try.
I'll be
That's
first.
all. Okay.
I want to try that.
Let me put
Don't burn him out.
Clockwork. It's working really good, even though I'm not looking good because I haven't slept in a long time. But yeah,
lays out like 5 things.
I mean, we
This
just
is
tore
all
up
going
the
in the hole.
spinach like it was nothing.
Oh,
It was so
yeah,
good.
that spinach was good, dude.
She did that by she did that from scratch too. She like she gets it, you know, fresh and cooks it all up. I watched her. I was actually joking her because she makes it just a small portion was like a giant dish of it. She had to prepare.
Yeah.
And then after you cook it,
Yeah, I know.
some
Yeah.
tiny little.
That's how it is.
I was
That's
like,
how it
damn,
is
man,
with
they
this
must.
spinach.
I can't imagine how much they use to produce like those cans of spinach and stuff. You know?
Can you
when I
imagine,
get
like,
fresh
now
spinach,
that
it's
you're
usually
filming
like
this,
2 or
can
3
you
weeks for
imagine
the
just,
family,
like, living
like,
this
it's a lot.
lifestyle? You get
Oh,
great
yeah.
food,
Yeah,
and you
tons
just
of
get to
it.
hang out with your
Tiny
friends?
little-
How
Yeah,
awesome
I
is
mean,
this?
I ate the whole
You know?
bag. Everyone looks I'm bad Indian.
I'm Persian, and I don't like
food.
Persian food. Well, half Persian, but still.
Kebabs.
Kebabs.
Actually,
Kebab
depends
and
about
rice.
The seasoning. It's all about the seasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know that, man. If you're Indian.
You know?
Oh yeah.
It's all about the garlic.
Oh, he knows.
onion.
I was married to
know
Patty
that shit.
for a couple
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
I
Oh
was,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
she was
Your
from,
ex-wife.
Kerala,
Yeah,
South
she was.
India.
She was
Oh,
Indian.
she must be making some
Yeah,
good food.
Yeah, she cooks
Some
everything.
spicy junk.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially this fish.
When her parents didn't like
I
me,
have
yeah, they
some-
made an extra spicy. Dude, I was like running to
Dude,
them.
I have some South Indian friends and they make some good fish, man. They know how to do their fish.
Okay. Well, yeah, they used to produce a mound of rice.
Cold. I'm just tired. I've been up for a couple of days and then trying to put this together, and then my daughter's early birthday yesterday, and so I'm just trying to make this happen. My first
You know, I'm allergic to melon. So I
work
never
as a producer and director, and actually everything was working out perfectly, so I think I was like meant to do this, to be behind the snes as executive producer and director.
So why do you
And,
look like Charlie Sheen right now?
Because I feel like Charlie Sheen, because I haven't been up for a couple days, but here's the thing, is I haven't been doing drugs, so...
Are you a
I don't know.
warlock?
And he's not addicted.
I'm not... I'm not on drugs.
Are you a warlock?
Warlock? Yeah, sure. What, on World of Warcraft Warlock? Or are we talking about, like, Warlock the movie, or Warlock, like...
Charlie Sheen warlock.
Charlie Sheen Warlock.
Are you
No.
winning?
I'm winning.
So the
Holy
porn industry
shit,
gets
that's
started.
right. I feel like I'm being...
I got you. Don't worry about that.
Oops. See the die cone?
So that's when
Wow.
it's done.
It's basically it's done. That's it. It's done. It's
You said it tastes like potatoes?
it's similar to potatoes. It's a radish, but it's a very mild flavored radish.
It's what I like to call the Asian people of yuca.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's like a
I
yucca.
love
That's
yucca.
what it's like a yucca. That's what it's
I like
yucca.
yucca.
It's Asian yucca. That's what I was trying to
Yeah.
remember, sweetie.
I
That's
love
it.
But it has the
Yes.
reason why you say the
That's what
potatoes
it
is
is.
because it has the same
The
texture.
texture. The
The same
texture.
texture.
That's it. The yucca. That's what it is. Yes, exactly. Well, you will love this.
Especially
Yeah.
fried yucca is awesome.
Oh,
Yuca fita.
we're gonna have to try that. I've never had that. You need to
Dude,
try
Fried
that.
yucca?
I
No.
lived on
Pretty good.
Latino for the last couple years.
You live Latino.
I was dating Glenda. That's why
Then you
she's
changed.
Dominican. All she did was cook that stuff.
You're in Spanish.
We
that,
have
that happens to my cousin all the time. Like
Yeah.
he's a little dark skinned than me,
Right.
and
We've
like
had
he'll be
that
like
problem.
hanging out like on the corner,
Be careful.
and the
It's
guy
really
will come
hot,
up like
okay?
Spanish,
Be
like start talking to him Spanish,
Remember,
and he'll be
you
like,
need to-
I'm not Spanish, dude. He's like, oh my friend, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like my dad's
I'm like,
story.
Lying.
My dad worked he owned Planet Billboard, whatever.
You want a little bit more
Damn.
flavor? Is that
You get, like, a lot of
you can
Spanish
add
people
more
here in
flavor if you
Minneapolis.
want. Is that enough by now
And
for
he's
you?
just like,
That is
Is
sweet.
that enough for you?
And it started speaking to him. And
This is
he's
very
just
sweet.
Like,
Yeah, it's
I
sweet.
am Persian. I
Yeah,
am not.
we did
I am not.
You don't have to use
I
as much
don't
sugar
speak
if you don't want to.
Spanish.
And if you want to counteract more,
Just
put a little
like
more
when,
soy sauce.
I got a
good.
fight on the metro.
Whenever you do too much
This guy
sugar
was
or
speaking
salt
Spanish
and you
the
don't
other
like the salt or sugar in it, you know what? Chop up some potatoes and drop it in. It absorb it. You know, you get the whole blending. It's like a Japanese,
Wow.
Hawaiian kind of way
because
blend.
Hawaiian's more,
You
they
know,
have more sweet stuff in
you
there.
do. You do.
Yes.
Except for the poi.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Oh,
poi.
Was it
So,
hell yeah, man.
But we do, we
Part where
have
the
that
girl is
flavor,
like,
you know?
she's like, somebody had
So.
sex with me tonight.
Well, you know,
And then she looks over and
but they're healthy people.
like,
Look at how
Yeah.
because we eat all that wonderful food and fresh food and you know all that walking and exercising in the water. You know, water.
Ooh,
I don't know.
dude. You gotta see this.
Sometimes you can tell a lot more
Right.
movie, like when you see the trailer. But
Right. Nah, that movie is great, man.
honestly, I wanna
Cold
see,
water. You just put cold water. Just leave it there,
Okay.
and it's all ready. When you feel it, you're gonna feel the difference. It's
Now, how do they do when they make pho, right?
how do
Pho, you know, pho soup,
Parks and
the
Rec.
Vietnamese.
no, I don't know Vietnamese Thai. I do not know much about theirs.
Okay. Because
Um,
they use the same.
This is the
noodles.
same noodles though, Filipino too. We use a lot of the same noodles and
Right.
things. Very similar. I do not. I've had some Thai and Vietnamese soups and food. Filipino I will eat, and still some I do, some I don't. Basically,
Yeah, man.
Japanese, Chinese I will eat some too, but cut the grease more because Chinese use a little bit more of the oil, and I do not handle that very well, so I cut it. But there's a lot of wonderful places around here that make wonderful food, Chinese food. But you know, I eat mostly Chinese, Korean. I love Korean food. Korean food is very good, and so. But you know, it's a lot of
I make
similarities.
some really good spicy pork.
Do you? Oh, wait till you have my kalbi and my bulgogi.
Oh yeah.
Do you like that? Do you like bulgogi and kalbi? I make a spicy one.
Yeah, I like the spicy bulgogi. I don't like.
I make it spicy. You won't like mine. Mine is a spicy one, and even my Korean friends, they're very impressed with it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I used to,
probably like an executive
one of my
producer
big
on my
dreams
film.
was actually to have a restaurant. I wanted to just do. I wanted to do breakfast and dinner because I had children, and I wanted to implement with the children's area as well. And I wanted to do it with my mother. That was my dreams. My mother thought, oh, that would be so much fun, but she's passed away now. Over 13 years now. So I thought, well, I still would like to do that. I said, you know, and I thought, well, bed and breakfast. I said, I don't know. I don't think I want a bed and breakfast, you know. I just rather just cook. Just cook and like breakfast and lunch, and then close up at cow time, you know, by about 5 o'clock we're all finished, you know, and then start again the next day. So I'm still interested in possibly that. I enjoy that, you know, but I'm not a chef. I just enjoy cooking, you know. I just cook, and I enjoy cooking things that I enjoy and that people enjoy. I'm always looking for new ideas and trying them and, you know, creating them my way too, that I prefer them and like them. When I do change things, a lot of times I change it because of what we do like, what people like, and also too, sometimes I do it because I just kind of make it a little bit more healthy or something. I always try to add in vegetables and just, you know, just a lot of the processed stuff.
Do you use any like fish sauce or anything sometimes? And any of
Yes,
the
I
dishes?
do.
Why do you keep on watching this?
If you're using soy sauce, you're going to use fish sauce too.
Right.
Black bean, fish sauce,
Yeah.
soy sauce. And that's our main thing. We basically use 4 or 5 main ingredients, and you're not gonna go without it, you know. Hoisin sauce is a fancy soy sauce. That's all it is. Oyster sauce is opposite. It's the same thing like a hoisin sauce, but it has the fish seasoning in it. That's all. That's the difference. I have allergies to my family, so when my daughter comes with her husband and her little boy, 2 years old, they cannot have anything from the water. So the fish seasoning, the you know, all that, the fish sauce, spinach, all that I have to not have. So I feel so bad because one time I cooked some spinach and I had made some miso soup actually. I love to make miso broth soup and put spinach in it. And then I also make a clear broth with spinach, and we'll do that one day. And I was trying to offer it to him. I didn't know it. He's allergic to it, and even the smell was bothering him. My daughter didn't tell me, and he was trying to be so nice and didn't let me know, and I felt so bad. Later she told me, of course, but I thought, oh my gosh, you know, oh God, making him ill, you know. But he loves my food. And my daughter now, she cooks a lot of it, so he's very happy. So and she's a wonderful cook too. She's learned a lot of things. She makes adobo, and I still have to make adobo, you know. So but she cooks it. So yeah. So you know but well, you know what? You can thicken it. You can thicken it if you want. Put some cornstarch in it. Just like you'll see as I make a lot of soups and things like that. You can if you want to, but I do not like the thickening. I like it very liquidy. I do not like the thickness because we're gonna have the noodles with it. You're gonna eat rice with it. Yeah. That's the thickness right there. I love the broth. I really do because it really opens you up. I mean, I'm already open.
Well, it's the same with my dad because I think me and my dad have the same stomach problems. So
yes.
We like the broth and we like to like
exactly.
dip our
exactly.
We like to get like fresh bread, you know,
yes.
from the store and then
yes.
Just dip it right in.
The edges sometimes you need to watch that because you want to cut them because a lot of times they're not too good. And the bottom you want to cut it a little bit, you know. Mm-hmm. So, but onions I use on everything too. They're very healthy for you, and so.
No disrespect to my grandparents in New York, but he smoked the ham for like 2 weeks.
Uh-oh.
Way overdone.
Too much.
I'm sorry, it's way overdone. And on top of that, like I have a preference. I love stovetop stuffing more than I do like everybody. They make their own home stuffing. Yeah. I don't know. It's just I don't like homemade stuffing. I don't. I'd rather have like stovetop.
People always put weird ingredients in homemade stuff.
And disconnect.
This one is a little
that was an easy sale for us. You know what I mean? Like,
you're in there watching TV?
Eggplants nowadays spend
a lot of time. Yeah, we already have Comcast. Yeah.
So it just depends. Well, today, let's see how I'm going to cook it. I'm going to cook it this way. So, you know. Depending eggplant, I cook it in many different ways. Many different ways. So this pan gets evenly hot so quickly. So I don't even have to cut it on to heat it up. It'll be perfect. We're going to be ready to eat soon, Jared.
nice.
Within 15 minutes. Are you ready to eat? Within 15 minutes at the most. Oh. Well, you can feast on it.
Awesome, but I have been waiting for months.
Ooh, wonderful.
For ham. And on the balance of
Tofu and eggplant. Eggplant you can cook many ways. I cook it in different ways, but this is just one way I'm cooking today. And I'm cooking with tofu. And we have soy sauce and hoisin sauce. And onions, of course. Can't leave out my onions.
Would you try the hoisin sauce as a glaze on the ham? 'Cause that actually...
If you yes, you can make hoisin. You can also make barbecue. Pork is very good. Do you eat pork? Do you guys eat pork? I make a wonderful pork roast. All right, turn the pan on high. Every time high. Let it heat up. Gonna get some regular white onions as well. Get some green. Cover the pan, sesame oil. Sesame oil is a seasoning oil, so don't freak out about the oil. You can always add it in your food and flavor. It's wonderful. I make broth with it for soup. I'm going to toast this. That's why I'm doing this.
Because the sesame seeds, they when you toast it, they unlock those aromas.
That's right.
Yeah.
There we go. Set it in. This isn't as pungent and strong as the green. We're going to make sure you get all those seeds out. You can rinse it and the seeds will come out as well. They come out pretty easy, so it's not difficult to do. I will be using the whole pepper because I like the peppers. Otherwise, you can use how much you want. Everything is actually to your taste and to your flavor. You know, it's no correct way as far as measurement. That's one thing about when you do a lot of Asian cooking that I'm teaching you. And a lot of my cooking, basically what I do cook. Only time it comes to precision is baking sometimes, but even that you can correct it. The only time it's really a bad oops is salt. But then with cooking, you can correct it. You can correct it. Well, baking, sometimes it can flatten it, destroy it, make it too hard. But that's okay too. You learn also too. See, I'm doing more sesame oil because when I toss everything together, tofu has no flavor. It's whatever you give it, okay? Whatever flavor you want to give it. So, I love my sesame oil. And also, too, sesame seeds. I think I might have put it in. Always crush it in your hands, okay? Like this. So, no problem. But at the end, I'm going to add these. I don't want that now. So, we're toasting it. The reason why I'm toasting it is I want it to stay together, okay? If you don't toast it, it will not stay together. This gets a little tricky sometimes, but sometimes it will stick because toast the water in it still. See how it's getting toasted? Do not worry that it's like this because all of this is going to pick up. When I toss the vegetables, the eggplant in and the onions, it's going to all come off. So don't worry. It's going to happen because of the water, the compression of the water and the hotness. So it's okay. There we go. That's even better. So, very quick, easy dish. You can eat this hot or cold. Refrigerate it, take it out, eat it cold. It's wonderful. A lot of Asian food, including the fish, everything. Basically, it's not too much heating up a lot of things. Showing you chicken, of course, you want to heat that up. But fish, vegetables, you can eat it right out the refrigerator, up to your desire. A lot of times when I make meatballs, I make meatloaf, I put tofu in it. My family's never known. I cut down on the meat, egg rolls, everything. I cut down on the meat, I put tofu. I mix it all together. My husband, uncle, they had a restaurant and he used to make, Italian meatballs. He was an Italian man. And so I had asked him, well, how do you make Italian meatballs? Because I like meatballs. But I make my own versions, He used sausage and all this other kind of meat. But I myself, I don't like all that meat. I will use sometimes in my meatballs pork and beef, but I use a lot of tofu. And I implement the Asian island style. I put pineapples in mine.
Fresh eggplant, you're putting that in there too?
Fresh eggplant, my peppers. Oh, the peppers are so pretty. It gives us a pretty color. That's why I like red peppers, because it's so pretty. It looks really nice. And
yeah, I remember we were talking about, which peppers do you prefer?
Well, the yellow ones are nice, but they're so pale. It's It's not deep yellow. And the
You prefer
red,
colors over flavor sometimes?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. It's so pretty. And you know, it's holiday time. It just looks so nice. It makes everything look so pretty. So, here we go. Eggplant. Just toss it in. Don't worry. Just toss that eggplant in.
And you can get this at
any Asian market. You know, I think even Shoppers, American stores sell the two giant. This is like a seasoned soy sauce. A little bit more flavoring to it. You know,
it's a little bit more thicker.
Yeah, thicker. Yeah. And you can use soy sauce a little bit. We're going to end up adding water to make a little broth more at the end, but not right at this second. Put a little bit of garlic, not too much. Just a pinch of garlic, not too much. This one I don't.
Everybody
need too
should
much.
love garlic.
Oh
Put
yeah.
like 3 dabs of garlic in there.
Watching me, I've been using garlic a lot. Eggplant, it has a little bit of a bitterness, but you can use ginger with it too if you want. This time I'm not going to use ginger. I'm just going to use a little bit of sugar, a little pinch of soy sauce after, and then add the water. We're pretty much done. We're going to be done soon with the eggplant as it cooks. And what you're going to do is, I forgot my lid, steam it. You're going to steam it. And that's going to help it cook faster. Okay? So.
Let that hoisin sauce soak into the eggplant and
that down. Don't be afraid when you mix it, but just be careful. You know, you don't want to drop it on the floor. So, but you can't do damage to it because it's just, you know, tall stir-fried vegetables. This is really simple, really good, really inexpensive too. It's not much that's spent on this, time-wise as well as money.
folks at home, you should be jealous of the crew right now because we're gonna have some ham with some of this.
Oh, and I take a little bit of the bitterness out. That's all I'm doing. The eggplant is starting to cook. See, look at it.
It's looking gorgeous.
Up to you how the texture of the eggplant, how well cooked you want it, how, you know, there's no such thing as undercooked or overcooked. It's just up to your taste, up to your desire. That's all. Look at the color. See, the purple, the deep purple is changing now. It's become lighter and lighter. It's losing its color because of flavor. There's other ways of cooking also too. You can take eggplant. You can just drop it in boiling water for a few minutes. Take it out. Put it in the pan for a little bit of sesame oil, a little bit of onions and peppers, and then put a little bit of fish seasoning, and you can have it that way as well. I love to eat this in the morning. I have my bowl of rice and then I eat this. I love this for breakfast. One thing about this kind of food, you can eat it for breakfast too. And I love broth soup, like the miso soup especially. I love it because it's very healthy for you, very good.
No, the miso that you made was fantastic.
one
My
that
friend
you had
Callie,
was-
she's a vegetarian.
Oh,
she
she'll love that then.
she loved the
She will
tofu
love
that I made in the morning, even though I'm not really a big tofu fan unless it's like in my miso soup, but
Gonna give it a couple of more minutes and then I'm gonna put water in it.
let
The
it
reason
steam.
why
Do you
I-
put it
I
on a
love the
low?
steam.
What temperature? I mean,
No, keep it high
Just-
and then
okay.
you cut it off because it's steaming. The pan is really good.
everything is fusing
Yeah,
together.
so
All the
that's all
flavors
good.
and the
Exactly.
aromatics of
Exactly.
the peppers, the
So,
tofu,
Yeah.
the
And
eggplant.
if you take the heat down, it'll ruin it. So yeah. So.
Now, why do you add the eggplant in last? I mean,
Because
you
the
want
eggplant
the
cooks very
crunchier
quickly.
texture?
The
or-
crunchier textures first. Yeah. Well, the tofu I did first because I wanted to toast it.
Yeah.
So that's why. And that won't be damaged anyway, regardless beginning or last. If
I
I put it in last, it will not get the texture that I want, the crispiness on the outer part.
I could also smell the aromatics from the sesame.
Yeah.
oil.
Exactly. Exactly. Put the
That's-
seeds on down
that's
if you want. Take a
thing.
little seeds. And that'll pop open some more smell. And
What is that?
Like
Did you
sesame
show that for the
seed.
camera? For the
Sesame.
more sesame
Mhm.
seed?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Did you put that in separately, or did you have the sesame oil? Do you have like a separate sesame oil or sesame?
You know what?
seed?
That's totally separate. I did sesame oil, and then I did also too sesame seeds.
Okay.
And I buy the crushed, lightly toasted. That's the best way. I love it. That's my favorite. I use it on many of my dishes. Some people like, you know, the more darker ones, it's more cooked, or the ones that's not very. But this is just kind of like it's like a medium version of it, and it's crushed as well. But like I was telling you, you can just rub it in your hands because it's so soft.
Yeah.
It'll crush and break up. You know. You also can, you know, use the little pounder, but it's so easy to crush in your hands and just toss it in. Now I'm going to put the water in.
Is everybody smelling this at home? Because you should be. It's good.
And we're going to be ready to eat. Set the table and sit and eat. You can have me do it with the plate. I'll do it that way. What do you think? Is that a good idea?
I mean, you can put it on that. That's just keep it in that.
No,
If
I'm
you
going to
want.
take it out because it'll look even prettier when you take it out. I'll do it this way, then I'll take it out too next to it. Because that'll be fine. I can do
Actually,
that.
let's start with everything else, and then the ham is
Yeah,
the
and bring
final.
the ham
Hi.
out.
Yeah, bring
Well,
that
she wants to
up.
bring it out on the dish, so.
Itai.
I'm gonna bite into it now.
Whew,
I
it's
want
hot.
it.
It's hot for that ham too.
And
Go.
action.
Okay. Well, now dinner's completely ready. Time to eat. We have our honey baked ham. And like I told you, it's up to your taste. If you want it more glazed, you can leave it in longer. But I would definitely turn the heat down. I had it on 350. I would turn it down to 325. Gas, electric, 300. And you can leave it in for another hour to 2 hours. Up to what you would like it. More glazed. But I like it this way. And the juice, as you see it, oh, you can just smell it. It's wonderful. And that's what makes it so delicious. The flavors just seep right into the ham. And when you have it slit like this, even more when you pour the juices on it, it goes into it as well.
All right, next.
So, next is your tofu eggplant with the peppers and onions. You have the scallions and the regular sweet white onions. And you have tofu, eggplant. The eggplant also too, you can cook it to your texture. You can have it soft like this or you can have it more firmer. But it's wonderful either way. We have our shoyu chicken with our rice noodles. Okay, these are wonderful with daikon. Remember, that's our potatoes, which is daikon. It's similar to like a yuca. And then we have carrots, and it's all ready. And we have, of course, our rice. So, in the rice pot, our wonderful rice that I'm going to be taking out as well and presenting. So,
Okay. Good. Good. So let's get it on the table and let's eat. And action.
now that everything's all done, and the only thing left is for us to sit down, enjoy, and eat. Thank you so much for joining us today on my first time debut for my show. Please join us again. Thank you very much.
We need the clapping. Come on.
In honor of Jared, so I hope it's delicious. Ryan was here for ham, though. So the ham is gorgeous.
It is
So,
gorgeous, and
I'm really
I
impressed.
actually I'm done. I'm
You're
taking.
going, you're going.
I'm going with the ham. Sorry, leave me
He
alone.
did a very, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm going to put a little bowl with the juice so that we can glaze it.
Sorry, it smells yummy.
Put your nose in everything.
Yeah, well, it smells good. Leave me alone.
You should have been here Christmas.
See, you seen this? Yeah. Check this out.
Now I'm going to put some in a dish for you. Be careful.
Yeah, buddy. No, I'm not. Don't worry. I'm not going all crazy. I'm just showing how awesome. Yeah.
Two, when you're finished with this, you can also freeze this in cubes or baggies, because you can use it in your cooking too. You ever do that when you? Yeah,
Yeah.
these are really good. So, And Brian Michael, you getting them? Gabby.
You want me to get them?
No, he's getting them. He'd probably be okay, but he might. I don't know. Okay.
Well, like I said, there's 3 ways. We've either got a cooking show, an awesome documentary of people trying to make it, all of us, or a movie. And that's the 3 scenarios that I planned out in my head, and everything just went great. Everything just went great.
Are you good?
Yeah.
You know, that sticky rice would be awesome. Like, put that au jus over the sticky rice. That'd be awesome.
You do that, yeah. I mean, I have nori too. I have seaweed and I have teriyaki. My granddaughter actually likes teriyaki on hers.
You see me right now? I'm like ready to like tackle it like a gazelle. I want that ham. I want that
Oh,
ham.
that's it. We gotta cut it. So.
For like, you know, breaking the mood.
I'm
Now we
sorry.
gotta cut
I
it
forgot.
and
I know, I forgot. I've got to cut the ham for you guys. I forgot. You guys. Well, you know what? The other stuff, if you want, you can go ahead and get it.
I was just kidding.
Yeah.
I was just kidding.
I forgot. I was gonna say, okay. Yeah, I have thought about that. Well, usually Preston cuts it for us.